This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
And welcome back, everyone. We all love music. I don't think there's any human on the planet that can honestly say, I don't like music. No, nothing. I never listened to it. Yet you do. We all have our individual styles. And today we're going to learn about music, some of the techniques employed. And this is fantastic if you are in the New York metro area and even considering maybe taking vocal lessons. I have a true pro. She is a professional opera singer, pop singer. She's a teacher, dramatic coach, stage director, and so much more. And it's so great to have Evelyn join us on the program. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. How are you, Steve?
Fantastic, fantastic. So loving our last conversation. Want to pick up from there and get into some of the things that as a professional vocal coach, things that you hear that you shouldn't be hearing, for the best description, things that people do that they probably shouldn't be doing. What can you share with us?
Well, I was on YouTube last night and I pulled up something by one of my super all-time favorite singers, Gary Puckett of the Union Gap. Phenomenal voice, absolutely quasi-baritonal, but phenomenal voice, perfect diction. And he was doing some kind of a concert, and I'm listening to him singing. The voice is still there, but every word was a diphthong in it, just play instead of play. So to the point where you don't understand what the word is anymore. And the fellow who was narrating the particular video was so enamored with this technique that he was using. Yeah, it's called destroy your vocal cords, pull your larynx up in the air. And I mean, Gary Puckett, when you listen to him singing Woman, Woman in the old days in the 70s, because I'm a big fan of the 70s, his diction, his technique was with beyond reproach. And when I heard this concert, it just upset me so much. I was almost in tears because I'm such a huge fan. And to hear this magnificent voice singing all these diphthongs was just really frightening. I mean, Frank Sinatra was notorious for doing that. And of course, I said to someone who knew him, I said, wasn't there anybody around Frank that could tell him how to sing words properly instead of all these diphthongs? He said, oh dear, you don't tell Frank anything.
Yes. But I wonder with that, do people sing that way because it's easier or they can sustain a note in a different way? Why would you?
Well, there's a lot of schools of thought on that. Usually as a person gets older, and of course this concert, Gary Puckett was quite a bit older, we tend to bite when we're afraid that the vowel won't hold in that position. We have a tendency to bite it. So by saying play, you have to hold the vowel. But when you go play, you're grabbing it with the back of your throat.
Right.
So it's kind of I'm afraid this note might not stay, so let me grab it and physically manipulate it. And unfortunately, it just makes the voice worse. I was just so upset by that thing. I was upset with the guy who was doing the interview because he was talking about how emotional his voice is and blah, 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 blah. And I thought, oh my God, I'm going to be sick. Because Gary had the most phenomenal voice with the most perfect diction and good breath control. He does this song called Wait Till the Sun Shines on You, which is a simple song, but his voice is just dark and warm and it's almost orgasmic.
Unless it includes a diphthong, unless you're wearing one when you're listening to it.
It includes the diphthong, which he never did before. He never used diphthongs before. So it was very upsetting for me as a teacher.
But I appreciate you bringing that to our attention because I can see that how you want to kind of strain it a little bit if you're lacking a little bit of confidence, maybe later in the beginning of a career or later in a career where you're thinking, I don't know if I can hold that note, so I need the safety net. That's the safety net, but it doesn't sound natural. It sounds forced.
Yes, and it changes the meaning of the word. I mean, if you don't stay in the vowel of the word, once you get to the last consonant, which should be very brief, the word is unclear.
Mm.
Um, I can't think of anything that comes to my mind except the word play. Uh, any word that has a on the end of it is a bite. And if you go to the bite, not only does it pull your larynx up, but it also cuts your volume back quite a bit
Mm.
because the vocal cords are not functioning the way they should be. They're being frozen, and that's just not a good way to sing. So it was a little upsetting. It was a little
Mm.
upset. I didn't throw anything at the television, but I got close.
Well, you know what? We hear it and we may think, oh, man, it sounds a little okay, a little off. We might not realize it, but how many of us do, walk around and say, hey, tomorrow, you want to have a play day? You're never going to say that. Hey, you want to have a play day? You want to,
Exactly.
do you,
Exactly.
Evelyn, would you
Exactly.
like to play tennis? You're not going to say it that way. It's very unnatural.
Right. Well,
Mm,
that's the problem, Steve, because when we speak, we say play.
right.
We say play. But
Yep.
when you sing and note is longer, it means you have to stay in vowel. You can't say play because we're used to the speech pattern. But
Mm.
singing is different. We have elongate vowels and we have to stay in that vowel and clip the consonant at the end, which makes the word incredibly clear.
Look,
So,
look at,
yeah, it's something that I think a lot of singers are bad with.
there a lot of people say things about his vocal quality, but I'm just going to use this one song because it has the title of a song and the song itself has that sound to it. Bob Dylan, Lay Lady Lay. He doesn't say
Mhm.
lay lady lay, it's lay lady lay and that's it. And
Right.
it's
But he just says bad English. He just says bad English. So whenever I hear that song, I say, lay lady, it's lie in your bed. People don't lay in their bed. It's in the Bible. Lay means have sex. It's I lie down. I don't lay down. I lie down. You can lay a rug, but you can't lie a rug, and you can lie in bed. You don't lay in bed unless you're with a very pretty person. So it, it's another thing being an English major. When someone says lay, lady, lay, I say lie across your big brass bed, just
right.
to correct it.
So I love the 70s too. How about let's pick another song and or artist and maybe dissect that. What do you hear? Anything. Could be random anything.
Random anything. I don't know that tune. Let's
No.
see. Um, well, I like Tyler, from Aerosmith. He's a complete maniac, and I absolutely love him. Of course, he just completely destroyed his voice. But then you have what I call the very high tenors that are very popular today. I think we discussed Journey and Foreigner.
Sure.
Wonderful voices, wonderful voices. But we always in the opera world laugh and say that they're both senza cogliones, so which means without balls. Uh, their voices are very high, and that's just what's common nowadays. So Gary Puckett was from an era when more baritonal qualities were popular, like Bing Crosby or Matt Monroe or Jim Reeves, Eddie Arnold, in the country field. So it's where it is right now. Is the high
Hmm.
voices are very popular, but again, some of them still are not singing those diphthongs. Steve Perry, he doesn't use the diphthongs at all. He sings quite properly.
Hmm. What
And of
about
course, Graham from Foreigners, the same. Wonderful singers.
deeper voice? Let's go deeper voice. How about like James Taylor? What are your thoughts?
Uh, it's a deeper voice. It's still not what I would call baritonal, but it is a deeper voice. He's got a slight nasal quality in his singing which doesn't bother me at all. I'm actually a fan of his.
Hmm.
Um, I like his tunes as well. Yeah, he's a good singer. He's a good singer. He's
What
he's a
are
big chest breather. Big chest breather, though.
what are some things that people when they sing may be doing wrong? Let's say somebody is an aspiring singer. Maybe they've been told, "Hey, you got a really great voice," and they're kind of toying with maybe some vocal lessons.
Mm.
What are some things, common things, like the diphthong that people are doing wrong?
Well, I always tell people when I do master classes, and I really enjoy doing master classes, I always say to people, students, listen, don't trust anybody. If you aren't making tremendous improvements in your voice lessons in 3 months, get out of there. If they don't teach belly breathing, and they don't tell you not to sing in smile position, no A&E smile position vowels. If they don't do that, get away from them because they're not a good teacher. You must stay in an oval position in the mouth. Now, if you want to make a facial expression for the audience's sake, that's fine. That's wonderful. You're allowed to do that as long as you return to the proper position. So whether you're singing pop, rock, I used to have to do top 40. So, for example, if I had to do Barbara Streisand songs, because her chest voice sits so much higher than mine, I had to put her keys down a minor third, in order to duplicate her sound. So, top 40 was really tough. But my band, I was much older than the guys in my band, and we did a lot of gigs that were for elderly people. So I've learned songs from the 30s and the 40s, the 50s, 60s. I probably know 600 songs easily, not including my opera.
Wow.
And really, well, including pop, I guess, and country and calypso. I lived in the Caribbean for a long time, and so
Oh,
I
wow.
learned to sing calypso. Yeah, I learned to sing calypso. It was a lot of fun.
I love anything.
When I got back.
Anything from the Caribbean. Like it just, I don't care what it is. I will listen to it and enjoy it, diphthong or
Me
not.
too. It's so full of energy.
It is. And you know what? Bob Marley said it back in the 70s about positive vibration. And now, 50 years plus later, we're starting to talk about energetic vibrations and all of that, everything that he was singing about. We're finally realizing.
Yes. Well, he was way ahead of his time. Absolutely.
Well, let's analyze him for just a split second here. What, in terms of his vocals, the quality, delivery, what is it that we like about him? I can't put my finger on it, but I love it.
It's the honesty of his voice. He's who he is. He doesn't represent himself to be somebody he's not. Even though it wasn't the greatest voice in the world, but he could sell it. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
You have to be able to sell and believe in the product. And he deeply believed in what he was doing. And he was a super, super nice man. Wonderful man.
You can feel it when he sings.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Hits you right in the stomach, or it hits you in the heart. He was such a wonderful actor with his voice. And that's really something that a lot of singers nowadays don't really do that well.
Gotcha.
Some of them are great. But others of them, you try to keep awake while you're listening to them. It's yeah.
So how about this? We're talking about different artists, even 70s. I'm going to throw another one at you, and my mind works this way. It drops in my mind, then I just share it. I don't know where it's even coming from. Glenn Campbell. What do you think?
Glenn Campbell actually had a very good voice.
Right.
He was a quasi-pop country singer. Super nice guy. I actually met him once. I liked his songs. Very much. And he was quasi-baritonal as well. I enjoyed listening to him sing. He did some really good songs, and he had a very good vocal technique. Unfortunately, he was a high chest breather. So what high chest breathing does to you, you can do it while you're sitting there, Steve. If you pull the air up into your upper chest and you had your hand against your esophagus, you'd feel it getting smaller and it would be pulling up in the air. So in other words, the voice would change color. If I pull my breath up and I go, oh, 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 I drop my phone. If I put my larynx down and belly breathe and I go, oh, 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 it's a very different sound.
Richer.
So operatically, if you're going with it up, and then That's with the larynx down. So what it does is it opens up the esophagus and it allows the air to come all the way to the lower belly. And that's opening that pipe. It's like a pipe down in there, and it's rich and dark, and you have much better control over your voice than that squeaky high, like you've been doing. What do they call that? There's something. Oh, well, not like Janis Joplin. I always thought Janis Joplin must have done her throat some real serious damage, other than the drugs.
Yeah,
sounded like she drank Drano before she sang.
Yeah, unique vocal quality. We'll give her that and just put it over to the side.
I love Janet Jackson. I love Janis Joplin. The other one who sounds like he drinks Drano is Rod Stewart.
Yeah.
And I think he really has. They both had vocal damage. They both have vocal damage, but they're still wonderful artists. I mean, my gosh, both of them are wonderful artists. So, as you said before, Steve, that this is a personal opinion. You know, for example, Dionne Warwick, wonderful voice, smoker, almost a chain smoker, and a high chest breather. But I love her voice. I love her voice. So you look past those things. It's just that if you want to have a really long career, or as my mother would say, sing until they close the box, you want to perfect your technique as best as you can within the style that you are presenting.
You know, thinking about Dionne Warwick, and the song just dropped in my head, Walk On By. That is just, to me, that's a really solid song. And for her, in terms of her vocal quality, you feel it. I think I would have to give a good check mark on that one.
Absolutely. No, I love her voice. I love her voice. I've got all her albums.
Yeah.
I've got all of her albums. So, I mean, yeah, I'm a big fan of Dionne Warwick. I'm a big fan. I was a big fan. Well, I still am, but she's not here with us anymore. Of Cicely Tyson. I'm a big fan of hers. I'm a big fan of Jennifer Hudson.
Sure.
Huge fan.
Yeah, it's underrated. She was there for a hot minute with the award show. Yep. And what about, let's fast forward to the 80s. What about Whitney Houston?
I loved Whitney Houston. I loved her. It was a phenomenal voice. She was messed up as a human being, unfortunately, but that was a phenomenal instrument, and a beautiful girl. I mean, just a stunningly beautiful girl who took a lot of heat from the Black community because they thought her songs were too white. But she was a master. I mean, it was an incredible voice.
Right. It was almost like, she's walking around with a musical instrument in her throat. Like, it was that good.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
Her voice was very ethereal voice. She could create a lot of different emotions with her voice. No, I'm a huge fan. I was a huge fan of hers. I was heartbroken when she passed.
Just can't even imagine, all she had going for her and everything else. What about Billy Joel?
I love Billy Joel. I love him. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm a huge fan. What an incredible artist, and what an incredible songwriter. I mean, his lyrics, he writes his own lyrics. The lyrics are brilliant.
Right.
No, I wish I'd have had the opportunity to see him when he was at the Gardens.
Yeah.
But I was on tour and I didn't get a chance to see him, which was a real shame.
I've worked with him quite a number of times, interviewed him, did some charity work with him, and just the span of music to go from a song like Downeaster Alexa to Rosalinda's Eyes, which has a tropical flavor to it, Cuban flavor.
Yes, very much so.
Like, just all that he can do, to stiletto. Like, there's so many different things he can do. It's
he was a concert pianist. He was a concert pianist.
Then there's that.
Same as Freddie Mercury. He's a concert pianist. So that's why his music is so brilliant. I mean, I'm so jealous. Don't tell me those stories. I'm so jealous.
Well, I mean, look at how life went on. I don't know if you're aware, but Mike Del Judas, who had a Billy Joel tribute band. And talk about, vocal lessons and hitting it big. 10 years ago, he was with a band called Big Shot, and they would do bar gigs, and he played Billy Joel songs. One day, Billy came to see him randomly and realized, oh my God, you're me. And then Billy grabbed him, takes him on tour wherever he goes. And Mike, aside from being a fantastic singer, when Billy can't hit the high notes, Mike is in the background and he pumps him out. And it's just brilliant. It all works.
Yes. That happens more than you think. That Elvis Presley used to do that as well. Sometimes someone in his entourage would sing the high notes as he got fatter and fatter and couldn't sing them himself. But people think of Elvis Presley, for example, in a strange way. We think of him dancing on stage. He had horrible stage fright. Terrible stage fright. And it's probably one of the reasons why he danced like a maniac on stage, because you get rid of the lactic acid when you're dancing. And his voice, he had a terrific instrument. He really did. When you listen to some of his gospel stuff, it's pretty amazing.
Very, very unique sound. Like I was listening to, I was on a plane the other day and I started listening to Suspicious Minds, and just, perfectly done with the background female singers that almost had a gospel-y feel to it. Wow. That's, those are the songs I like. Burn in Love. I don't know. It's okay. It doesn't, it was a big hit in 72, but it doesn't really do anything for me. I like a little more substance.
He sang when he was on tour, and I saw him before he got fat. I was very young, but I saw him before he got fat. And I tell you, this man gave his heart and soul on stage. He never held anything back. Most performers, and myself included, I tell young students, you never give 100%, because if you give more than 80, you're going to cost yourself either physically or emotionally. And the audience doesn't understand the other 20%. Give them 80, but give them a full 80%. Presley gave 110% all the time. And it was partially his destruction. It took a tremendous toll. Of course, the death of his mother was what really destroyed him. But you just can't give 100% on stage. Same as you can't cry on stage. And this is particularly for opera singers. Madame Butterfly at the end, when she has to commit seppuku, which is cutting your throat, which is always nasty. You can't cry. I mean, that last aria, if you're crying before the aria, you're not going to get through the aria, because it's got a wild B flat on the end of it. So I used to change my makeup. I would change the lower part of my makeup from something that was waterproof to something that wasn't waterproof. So toward the end of the aria, I would allow myself to tear up, and down my face would come this black mascara. And of course the audience went crazy. They loved it. So I'm a total ham on stage. What can I say?
It's a show. Come on, people. It's a show.
It's a show. Yes.
If somebody's looking to take lessons or further their aspirations and or career within singing and performing and all of that, I know that you're in the New York City metro area. What's the best way to find you, Evelyn?
Well, you can either email me at Diva Evelyn. I know that's tacky. DivaEvelyn@yahoo.com. Or you can give me a call at 646-320-8013. Or you can check my website, which is www.evelynlaquefsingingstudio.com.
Wonderful talking with you. Learned so much. Not even just about music, but the little background of things that we don't realize that you pick up on. Love it. Teachers hear things that regular people who listen don't hear. And that's okay. That's part of the magic. Yeah. That's absolutely part of the magic. What's going through my mind right now, talking about some of these songs, I am the lineman for the county. I diphthonged. Yeah. Right. But if you saw his face, he didn't say that E with a sideways face. He said, I am a lineman for the county. And he just kept his face normal. So he wasn't singing diphthongs. I'm
But
not
he had
suggesting he was. I did
he
that.
had a
I did
very
that.
good technique.
I did that
You're just
intentionally.
using that.
I totally
You
did. I
found a
totally did.
word.
No,
I found a word.
yeah. I'm going to use
Yes,
that one.
you're right. You're
Evelyn,
right.
thank you so much for today, and I appreciate it. We'll
Oh,
catch up
my
soon.
pleasure. I'm a big fan of yours, by the way.
Oh, well, I can't sing, but thank you.
That's all right. You've won Pulitzer. You're an amazing human being.
We do.
Wonderful. Big
You
fan.
know what? I'm curious, and I love talking with people like you. We learn so much, and music is such a major part of our lives. So to
It
get
is.
this
It is.
background stuff of all these artists that we've heard for decades, so much fun, and I'm looking forward next time we get together.
Wonderful. Me too.
Appreciate it. Thank you. We'll be
Have
right
a
back.
great day.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.